Hi, my name is Lisette Les. I'm an Amazon expert and strategic partner for Amazon FBA businesses. And this video is the second part to the Amazon Post module, and here I will go more into details with writing the titles and great images you need. So let's get started with finding ideas for the posts. And before gathering ideas, let's go over what are the two main post elements we need ideas for. So first, we need photo ideas, especially lifestyle photo ideas, which means we should shoot the product in use in the right environment. And we also need title ideas, so short pieces of information that would get Amazon customers interested into your product and brand. I divided inspiration sources into two categories. There's on Amazon and off Amazon sources. So let's start with on Amazon ones. First, of course, have a look at Amazon posts. And keep in mind, not only look at your direct competitors, but also discover posts from the same product category and also from other categories. Secondly, analyze competitor Q&A sections and reviews. The goal is to create content that helps to cover any objections your customers might have when they're deciding whether they should get your product or not. Also, have an overall look at your competitors' product listings. Check the images, the bullets, the A+ content, and see what kind of selling points they are using, because perhaps you could use the same ones. Now about off-Amazon inspiration sources. In my opinion, the most powerful way to generate post ideas is to put yourself in the customer's shoes. And what I mean by this is that you should imagine yourself being the buyer. So what kind of questions you would have if you would like to buy the product you are selling? What would be your fears? What do you think might disappoint you? What expectations you would have? And this kind of thinking exercise usually helps to generate posts that have high engagement. Then I recommend using Google to find out the top questions people have about your product. Also read about what people usually like about this product and also what they dislike about such products. And as with any content creation process, you also find inspiration from different social media channels. So let's now move on to writing post titles. So first, let's go over a few things you could add to the titles and which you shouldn't add by Amazon rules. So first, you can play around with adding emojis, because in my opinion, they add playfulness and often help to illustrate the story or information you are sharing. Just be sure to not overuse them. Secondly, you can add different call to action phrases, but be sure to add a clear one and not use a general one, just like click here, because Amazon doesn't like that. And also do not use call to actions that are currently unsupported. For example, don't ask customers to like the post because there is no such feature currently available, or don't ask them to leave a comment. You can also add hashtags, but note that hashtags aren't currently interactive, meaning they do not work the way they do in Instagram, for example. So that's the reason why I added the question mark behind that row. But I didn't want to leave it out because for brands who have presence outside of Amazon might have developed a strong brand hashtag, so they could use that in the title because that might help customers to find your brand from the other platforms. Then you can also include claims that relate to a subjective opinion, meaning there is no universal truth behind what you say. So for example, I can say that orange is the best color, and that's why I only manufacture products in the orange color. But you don't have to agree with me, and you can say, for example, the red is the best color. So when we now know what we can add to the title, let's see what we shouldn't add by the rules. The first one, of course, the contact details. And this rule shouldn't be a news for you if you're already selling on Amazon. Secondly, do not write any promotional or deal-related content, for example, that you have a 24-hour sale going on. Thirdly, do not include customer reviews, even if the review has been posted on Amazon platform. And last, do not use phrases that pressure customers to take action fast. For example, don't use act fast or don't miss out. And as Amazon Post is still in beta and Amazon still develops it, we might expect updates to the rules as well. And therefore my recommendation would be that if you're new to Post and you want to start out after watching this video, head over to Amazon resources page and learn more about the latest requirements. So let's now see what you could share with your customers. So first, you can share highlights of your product features and product use information. So instead of just boringly stating, the fact what color or size your product is, illustrate what change does this feature make in using the product, bring out the benefits. And when writing the title, imagine how you as a customer would like to receive this information. Secondly, you can share educational content such as different tips and tricks. And this is a very good title type because you can give a lot of value for the customers and win them over by your side without them really thinking you're trying to sell them something. So I like this one a lot. And also remember that people looking, for example, for garlic presses might have never had one before or used one before. So your job as a garlic press seller would be to educate them. Educate them which product features are the most important. Help them to choose between different models. And customers will feel good about knowing that they learned something new that actually helped them to make the final decision about which product to get. Then you can share inspirational content that tells a story and makes people imagine using the product. So you can take your potential customer on a journey and help them to imagine the experience they would have using your product, how it would make them feel, and how it would help them to achieve something. So bring out their emotions. And then, of course, you can share brand content that would spark interest. For example, show your team, show your product development process, and also introduce your brand and the whole product line. So now, let's continue with creating post visuals. First, a little bit about technical image requirements. So from this list, I would especially like to point out the second row, the aspect ratio. Amazon currently supports images with different aspect ratios, and this is something that influences the overall appearance of the post a lot. And what I mean by this is that when you make a post with the image aspect ratio of 1:1, then the image will be a square. And now, if you would imagine your phone screen for a second, if you use square images, you would only see the post header and the image, and in order to see the product card and the title, you would have to do additional scrolling down. But for example, if you use 16:9 aspect ratio, you would see all the main elements without doing this additional scrolling. So you would see the banner, the photo, the product card, and the beginning of the title. So this 16:9 aspect ratio actually gives the chance to show the entire post information as a whole. And this is helpful for capturing customers' attention. And as we know, we only have a couple of seconds to do that. So I recommend to go ahead and test these different aspect ratios and see what works the best for your product and for your brand. So next question is what kind of visuals you should use for Amazon posts. First of all, we have the professional lifestyle photos, and these photos are usually taken by a professional photographer. Probably you usually order this kind of photos for your product listing, and sometimes you don't use all of the photos because you have limited number of photo spots you can use. So those photos that are left out from the product listing are actually super perfect for Amazon posts. And although Amazon does not recommend using the content you have already used on your product detail page, I would say it's okay to post those photos once in the post as well, just don't do it multiple times. Secondly, you have the post. You can post influencer and self-generated photos. And with this type of photos, I would say the most important is to pay attention to the quality and also shooting the product in use in the right environment. And when you do a shoot, try to get as many photos as possible because then you have more content for the posts. For example, let the model change the pose or change the angle, zoom in, zoom out. Try to also get your team members, family members, or friends to model so you would have people on your photos. And of course, as always, the best would be if you could feature your product target persona on the photo so that the possible buyers on Amazon would really connect with your product. And I will soon give you some tips how to take photos yourself as well. But first, let's go over a few examples of images which Amazon does not approve, because this is also very important to know. So first, Amazon does not approve images on white background. Secondly, Amazon doesn't approve images that feature several photos put together into one, because these images are kind of messy and it would take more time for customers to understand what you want to show. Thirdly, Amazon doesn't approve images with excessive text, so these kind of images also look a little bit messy and do not help build a trustworthy brand image. Amazon does allow you to add short taglines, so try to be as classy as possible. So for those, don't use that kind of images. And I will now give you some tips I promised for taking photos yourself. So the first recommendation is only to shoot using natural lighting or studio lighting to achieve a clean look, because that way you will have better quality images and also the colors will be more true to their tone. So even if you have a good camera or a phone, please do not shoot during the evening time because you will just simply lose quality. Secondly, be in the right environment and use props to set the feel of the photo, even if you know the details won't be fully visible. And I always recommend preparing more props and styling options than less, and try to pay attention even to the smallest details. Thirdly, please remember that idea and execution of the photos matter a lot, so be patient, take enough time to shoot to have the best results. And be especially patient when you do your first shoots, either alone or together with your team, because taking lifestyle photos isn't as simple as it might seem. And to illustrate you the power of being in the right environment, styling, using the right props and using models, I will show you the behind the scenes photos and final images from a photo shoot I did especially for you. Thanks to the fact we were prepared, I had the plan and already knew ahead what kind of shots I want to have, we were able to get many high quality photos to use for posts. And if I would be selling this garlic press now, I would be pretty happy with the shoot. Now, as the last part of this module, I will go over some things about managing posts. First, I recommend to put together an SOP file. And this one is important for all size sellers, because no matter if you're just starting out or already doing 7 or 8 figures a year, your goal should be running your business as efficiently as possible. And this kind of file helps you to keep all this information in one place, so it's easy to onboard new team members or delegate the task from one member to another. Here's an example table of contents for an SOP file that you can use to get started, and tweak it according to your preference and the way you usually create SOPs. I want to highlight this company rules row, which is very important to include to the SOP file. And to this section, write down all the brand names, trademark phrases, and different claims you can't use in the titles in order to avoid any issues. And while the SOP file helps you to get the full understanding of the tool and how to use it, another must-have is the management file for Amazon Posts. And this file is for the person who is working on Amazon Posts in order to have a good overview of everything and to work systematically. This can also help store manager to have a better overview of the VA's work and also answer their questions. And similarly, like with the SOP file, the easiest is to set it up in Google Drive. And here are also some of the columns you could add to that file. These additional columns I brought out are especially good when you're just starting out or testing new approaches to better keep track of what works and what not. The third file is the analysis file, and this one doesn't need any special setup because you can download reports from Amazon, and there you will have all the main metrics displayed in different columns already in that file. So your task is to choose which metrics are important for you and how you want to analyze them. So now you're all set to create awesome Amazon posts, get to know your customers, and of course get new traffic to your product detail page and also get additional sales. So thanks for completing watching the second part of Amazon Post module, and I hope you got good information how to write good titles and also create awesome visuals. So I wish you good luck using Amazon Posts.